If you were alive in Western Scotland 37,000 years ago, you could have been one of my ancestors. The nomadic tribe you belonged to was near a lake, with a river running through it, and then down to a distant sea. The ocean was farther away than now, and if you wanted to migrate to Northern Ireland, you could have walked there. Off in the distance, to the northeast, you could see low mountains glistening with ice sheets. And you might be shivering as you gazed at them, for Western Scotland in those days was on average at least 8 degrees Celsius colder than it is today. You and your band survived by pursuing, in the boreal forest of that time, large animals such as the woolly rhinoceros, the woolly mammoth, giant deer and bears and lions. Meat and fish were plentiful. Your wife bore you several children, and you had gained enough wealth through skill in hunting and courage while battling neighboring tribes to possess an ample store of bone-tipped arrows, stone-edged axes, and ivory ornaments. Your tribe worshipped the spirits of the woodland, providing you with honey, berries, and game. Life was good. The word of God was then applied to your people. They said, "We have more of wealth and progeny, and we will not be punished." What conceivable punishment could there be? Then the ice sheets came down from the mountains and buried your riverside hunting grounds. And so the next verse came to pass. Say, "Verily, my Lord enlarges sustenance for whom he wills and straightens it, but most of mankind does not know." You did not know that your happy way of life in the Scottish forest, teeming with riches, would disappear under ice 1 kilometer thick. 17,000 years ago, you might have been a descendant of that primitive hunter, a fisherman on what is now the northeast coast of Ireland. Generation after generation, your ancestors had moved south, staying just ahead of the advancing glaciers and coping with an ever colder climate. You and your community survived on the cold, nutrient-rich waters of the massive ice sheet's edge, and you worshipped the sea goddess and the marine life she held for you. The land around you was inhospitable tundra, but you dined well on fish, seals, walrus, and polar bears. Besides the arrows, spears, and ornaments of your forefathers, you had your wife make jewelry from reindeer antlers, narwhal tusks, and the shiny rocks torn out of the ground at the glacier's feet. Your diet was even richer now than it had been 20,000 years before, and you had many children. So the word of God was then applied to your people and to you. They said, "We have more of wealth and progeny, and we will not be punished." What conceivable punishment could there be? Then the glaciers retreated, the ocean rose, and an alien seafaring people speaking a strange new tongue came in, forcing you and your people back north into Scotland. And so the next verse came to pass. Say, "Verily, my Lord enlarges sustenance for whom he wills and straightens it, but most of mankind does not know." You did not know that the sea goddess would not protect you. Unimaginable. Now here you are, back in Scotland. The glaciers are gone. But the work they did, scouring and deepening the river valley that connects to the sea to form a long, narrow fjord, has changed the scenery of Loftier. The landscape is enthralling, and the waters of the loch bring in tourists from around the world. By a skillful combination of video footage and interviews with the locals, you are making money as a minor online celebrity. Your children are doing well in university, and you can enjoy all the perks of a modern lifestyle. But you are worried about the impact of climate change overpopulation and pollution. You believe in science, democracy, and human rights, and revere the gods of autonomy and freedom. You cannot imagine how your ancestors lived their ignorant lives and just died, nameless. And so, the word of God might still apply. They said, "We have more of wealth and progeny, and we will not be punished." What punishment could there be in a world without God? Ice comes, then melts away. Seas fall, and then they rise. The spirits of wood and water give way to the gods of sensation-seeking scientism and self. Say, "Inna Rabbi yabsutu rizqa liman yasha'u wa yaqdir, walakin akthara an-nasi la ya'lamun." What is it that most of mankind does not know? What this gigantic stage of transformation of land and sky and sea in flux was made to do, and what we were meant to learn from it. Why this narrow strip of experience, this breathtaking gash in the cosmos, this awe-inspiring fjord of the Lord was arranged so delicately that it continues to feed us, teach us, change us while undergoing change, and then die, nameless, unexplained. Believers know that all this was made that we might say, "My Lord, Rabbi," humbly and with bated breath. And whatever comes next, that we might be ready for the change, no matter how unimaginable.